Hey all, Johnny Mullet here with a update on the maintenance and repair series. I wanted to give you guys an update on the bus. Since the repairs were done a week ago, I drove the bus for the entire week back and forth to work to make sure everything was good to go. And I'm here to check it out now and double check the fluids, and the bus has been doing great. It's never ran better, so you know, it's all about preventive maintenance. That's what we do, maintenance. For instance, I'm changing the oil in the new Mitsubishi. Maintenance. You got to keep up with your maintenance. Sure, I could pay, you know, $59.99 for the dealership to go ahead and change the oil in my car, but I can do it myself for like 23 bucks. Might as well, right? Anyway, first thing is the coolant level. Don't think we can see it here, so let's pull the cap off. And we're going to hop up there and take a look down in there, since the reservoir isn't exactly clear. But yeah, she's right there. Right there at the max mark, right where I want it. And then let's check the engine oil. You can see the shiny new pedestal and the not so shiny anymore turbo outlet right there. But let's see what we got for engine oil here. Yep, she's full and clean because I just changed it. And if you remember on my repair series, I had a milky residue in my oil cap. Now I don't know if that's all gone, but we're going to find out real quick. Look at that. Looks like the residue is pretty much gone. So that's a real good thing. Don't have to worry about the engine anymore. Alright, let's go inside the bus and talk a minute. Okay, a lot nicer in here, huh? It's windy and cold today. The high was supposed to be 55. Didn't even reach 40 something. It's just freezing cold. But much cooler, or much warmer in here. Anyway, I wanted to talk about maintenance and repair. As you've seen, I'm doing maintenance on our brand new car. You just got to do maintenance. If you want your vehicle to last, you got to maintain it. So that's part of the reason I am doing this, you know, Skoolie maintenance and repair series on YouTube. A quick recap on the bus. Ever since doing the repairs a week ago, the bus has been great. Haven't lost any coolant, haven't lost any oil. None of the fluids are mixing anymore. I just wanted to talk to you guys about how serious a problem this could have been with engine oil mixing with coolant. And if you've got coolant in your oil going through your engine, it's a very, very bad thing. And I'm glad I caught it when I did, because this could have been serious. Regardless, it's fixed. The oil cooler did the repair. Once I replaced the oil cooler, the oil and coolant quit mixing, we're good to go. Since doing the exhaust back pressure valve delete, oh my God, you wouldn't believe it. This bus is a completely different animal. There are 3 things I did to this bus to give it more power. The first thing I did was on an earlier video you seen where I removed the muffler and straight piped the exhaust. So we got straight 4-inch pipe all the way out the back of the bus. That made a pretty good increase in power. You could just feel the response was better, lower exhaust gas temperature sensors, and exhaust gas temperatures. That's what I meant to say. We went to Columbus on our cross-country Skoolie trip, and I had my buddy out there do the horsepower bump with his laptop. So the rated horsepower was 190. It's now 210. The best thing I could have did for the bus. It really woke this engine up. It's really nice now. And after doing this recent repair with this turbo pedestal and the new turbo outlet without the butterfly valve in it, it's unbelievable. I can hear this turbo all the time. You start the bus up and it idles, you can hear the turbo. You accelerate, you can hear the turbo. When you start climbing a hill, that baby starts singing, and man, oh, does it sound sweet. This bus no longer holds up traffic when starting, from a stop. Before, you're at a stoplight, the light turns, you're going, and you got a line of cars wanting to get around you. Now, no problem. Coming up to a hill, no problem. This bus just climbs the hill, maintains its speed. The turbo sounds really sweet. So, I just want to let you guys know that those upgrades really made a difference with the way this bus runs, the way it performs. And I also wanted to talk about Skoolie repair. I brought this up on a previous video about, your Skoolie dreams. If you want to build a Skoolie, that's a great thing. It's really awesome. But you got to take into consideration that, repairs, maintenance, and breakdown, you got to think about that. It's going to cost you money. A full-size bus chassis like this one, even though it's a shorter version, parts aren't cheap. That oil cooler from the dealership was at my cost, which is a discounted price through my shop, was $689. There was no way I was going to spend that much for, and so I found an aftermarket one for around $286. It's made by Dorman. It did the job. So, just to let you guys know, if this happened to me out on the road and I was dependent on an international dealership to fix my bus, that would have cost me well over $1,000 with parts and labor. I mean, I had about 6 hours, maybe 7, in doing this job because it fought me. Because I had a lot of issues with the bolts not coming out. I had to use the torches to heat everything up and extracting bolts. It was a terrible, terrible job. And a dealership or a shop is going to charge you every hour they have into it because of situations like that. You figure $100 an hour plus for 7 hours labor, you're looking, $700-800 just for labor, plus the parts. And if you were stuck in a dealership, that part was, my cost $700. It's probably going to be $800 or $900 to you. Then you got to consider the oil. You got to replace the coolant, the oil, the engine filter. I mean, it all adds up really quick. So you got to make sure you have money backed up for repairs like this. The oil cooler job, for instance, I just explained that. This pedestal job that I did, because it was leaking oil, that would have been well over $1,000 at a shop. Just a year ago, I helped the Skoolie family out who had brake problems with their international bus. They were leaking brake fluid out of the rear wheels, and the brakes were dragging and smoking. We got it into the shop, I checked it out, and what happened was the brake pads got so low, and they also come unbonded, that the caliper overextended, and the fluid was leaking out. And just to do 2 rear calipers, a new set of brake pads, and the labor, it cost those people $600 at my shop. And my shop is nowhere near $100. It's more around $78 an hour. But, with the parts and the labor, $600. They had to borrow some money to get the repair paid for so they can get back on the road. So you got to think about that. An oil change, for instance. On this bus, an oil change costs me parts, because I can buy the oil, buy the filters, and do the work myself. It costs me about $100. At a garage, you're looking at $250. Other engines, especially newer engines that have multiple filters in them with the canister screw-in filters, that's a $300, $400, $500 oil change. So you got to think about that. Every 10,000 miles, that's what it's going to cost you to keep your bus maintained. So I just want everyone to take that in and, think about that. If you want to get into the Skoolie lifestyle, get a Skoolie, great, but you got to also understand you have to maintain it, and you have to be prepared for any mechanical repairs that are needed along the way, because those can ruin your dreams. So I just wanted to bring that point up. I got to get back out in the garage here because I got work to do, so I'm going to finish up my maintenance on the car, and I will give you another video soon. Thanks for watching.